I'm going to show you guys my trade here from gold this morning, on gold this morning, and also some trades from last night. So if you want to see those, you want to see me explain why I took those trades, stay tuned here. My name is Bill Soriano. I've been trading Forex full-time for about 2 years now. And as always, everything I share with you on this video is for educational purposes. It's not meant to be investment advice. Forex is a risky business. You could lose all or part of your capital. So here's a trade I'm currently in gold right now. So it is moving up right now. Of course, that could change at any time. The first fundamental rule that Mark Douglas talks about in his book Trading in the Zone, one of the first fundamental truth, I should say, not rule, is that anything can happen, right? Anything can happen in the market at any time. So all it would take right now is one large bank, one large institution, one large fund manager, even one person with a lot of money who actually believed right now that gold is overvalued. All it would take is one person to cause this trade to reverse and hit my stop loss. So anything can happen in the market. Just remember that. But what I want to show you, and more importantly, other than that, is what happened last night with gold and why I stayed out of it. Okay, so I got this move, as you know, with trend trap or trend trap strategy. What I show here, this is on our educational platform. We have an educator that teaches this. Jay Awal is his name. He has a 5-video boot camp you can get access to, and he also goes live 5 days a week. You can get on those live sessions or watch the recordings if you can't make the live sessions. But what we teach is that our first step is identifying the daily range high and low, and that keeps us out of trades when we're too close to the high. We don't want to get in a buy, and when we're too close to the low, we don't want to take a sell, right? There's no room for it to go because price normally rejects off these levels, which I'll show you in a minute on a trade from yesterday. It normally rejects off of these levels, at least in the short term, and usually that rejection is enough to hurt your trade or even take you out of the trade. Now, once you're in a trade, you use those levels. We use those levels to tell us whether we can go for a 1 to 2, a 1 to 3, or a 1 to 4, right? I like to go for at least a 1 to 2. Sometimes I will take a 1 to 1.5 if everything looks good on it. But we use those daily range highs and lows to determine that. The second step is identifying the trend. That's the most important step in my mind. That's on the 4-hour time frame, and we have a very specific way of identifying the trend. We just use the last 2 or 3 highs and lows, and we have a unique way to identify a break of structure. Okay. The third step is the zone. That's on the 1-hour time frame. Once we have the trend, we look for zones to trade from with that trend. So in this case here, we've been bullish right now on gold. And so we had this area marked up. I had this area marked up here. Price came down into this area. This was last night around 9 p.m. Eastern time. Comes into this area. Right now I'm on the 15-minute time frame. Let me drop down to the 5 here because I do start on the 5 normally. So on the 5, we had this move down into the zone. So what I do is I identify where's my change of character. Where do I need if I'm looking to go long, obviously on the lower time frame, the trend is usually coming down if I'm looking for a long position, right? Into my zone. So even though the higher time frame trend is bullish, on the 5-minute, it looks bearish right here, right in the short time. So we're looking for an area. Where does price need to break above in order for us to give us, to give us the, to make us believe that it's going to keep going, right? Because it could just keep going down into this next zone here, which it eventually does. But I draw that point there, and then I draw a trend line. So you can see here that there are multiple situations where we get an open and close, a blue candle open and closes above this trend line, no matter where I want to draw it from or how far I want to stretch it out. But I did get an activation on the 5-minute last night when I checked our quantum scanner, right? And so that is step 4, by the way, the break of the trend line. right? For a buy, it's a blue candle opening and closing above the trend line. For a sell, it's a red candle opening and closing below the trend line. We then check our quantum scanner, which is one of 9 scanners you get with our educational platform. It's the only time we use any indicator of any sort or any scanner is on the 5th and final confirmation. And for a buy, we want to make sure we get a blue candle that opens and closes above our trend line on the scanner. And for a sell, a red candle that opens and closes below. Ah, now, I also like to look at times for this change of character to break. Okay. And so I didn't get an activation on the scanner last night when this activated on the 5 minute. So there was no trade yet. And so I went to bed, the scanner never activated, but I had this area marked up here. And what happened is you just got this huge consolidation all night. All through the overnight, it just consolidated. And so when you see a consolidation like this, it's really best to stay out until it decides which way it's going to go. So what you look for is you look for a move up, but you wouldn't get in after this type of consolidation. Now, if I would have gotten the activation here on the scanner, then obviously I would have taken that trade at this point. But once you see overnight here that it's consolidating in this range, you would then want to wait, okay? And if you would get a breakout to the upside, I would wait for this to come back into this range or identify another range that I could possibly get a clean trade from without consolidation. Or the other thing that happens is it drops below into your next range that you have identified. And that's what happened here this morning, right? Price comes down 8:05 a.m. into this other zone that I had marked up. Okay, so had I taken a trade here, and I know there are probably several trend trap traders out there who took this trade last night. Because at some point overnight, it does activate on the quantum scanner. But for me, it never moves up above that break of structure line right here. So like I said, I went to bed, I stayed out. Now this morning I come back and I get this here, and on the 5 minute I draw a trend line, right? And I'm looking for that change of character, that break of structure line. And so when I'm looking at these lows here, you can see here that this red candle body closes below this one. So that makes this a new low. Okay. And so if this is the low, then this would be the high, right? So if this would be our lower low in this case, and again, I don't use the same criteria for identifying a break of structure on the lower time frame that I do on the 4 hour for the trend. Okay, there's a reason why we do it like that. But on the 1 hour, on the 15 minute or the 5, I just go with a normal, right, body close below a body for a break of structure. Okay, and so this is my higher low in that case. And so once this higher low gets broken here on the 5 minute, we get a trend line activation here, right? The scanner then activated, and then we got this break of structure to the upside here. So this took a little while. We got the break of structure first, and then the scanner activated later. So I took the trade up here. And this is moving up nicely right now. Right now, again, anything can happen. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you overnight in gold, how this consolidated, how it was best to stay out of that, wait to see what it's going to do. It drops down into the next zone to get ready for the open of the New York session. And you could see the move that it has made up so far. It's made a nice move up so far. It's actually now above this area here I had marked up last night. I didn't need it to go that far this morning because I got new lower lows down here. Okay. So that's why this area was then marked up for a break of structure here. So let's look at a couple trades from last night. EURAUD moved up nicely for me last night. I got in this trade after 12 o'clock, I believe. And what happened was we got this beautiful big news candle here. So this was a little bit of luck. There was news at 9:30 last night in the dollar. I think the unemployment rate, not the dollar, I'm sorry, the Aussie dollar. So this is EUR AUD. So there was news in the Aussie dollar at 9:30. Now, so I obviously wasn't going to get out of the trade before that news happened. And so I luckily, what happened was the news came out. I think the unemployment rate came in at 4.5%. It was expected to be 4.4. So that was kind of bad news for the Australian dollar. So that caused EUR AUD to spike on this candle here. And you can see it, it just moves up. And not only does it just get to my take profit, right? With the spread factored in, I get out of that trade. But look at where it hits that daily range high I have marked out. And it stops right there. It stops right there, right on the dime. I mean, that wick goes a little bit above that line. That's it. That's the daily range high. Now look what happens. It immediately reverses off of that. And then it makes another move back up overnight, goes a little bit above it, and then right back down again. So you see the importance of that daily range high and daily range low. Okay. So that's EURAUD. Another trade I won overnight was GBPJPY. This one I got in last night around 9 p.m. And I was out of this before I woke up. Got out of this around 4:30 a.m. this morning. But you see here on the 5 minute, we had a trend line. We had I think I entered this on the 15 minute maybe. Yeah, we entered this on the 15 minute after we got this big impulsive candle moving up above this area here. Right, price, well, we were obviously bullish on GBPJPY. Price moved down into this zone I had marked up right here on the 1 hour time frame. This is a 1 hour zone. And then look at the move up. And notice how this keeps going. Okay, I got out of this at a 1 to 2. Now my daily range high on this is all the way up here. Okay, so you might say, Bill, why didn't you try to get more than a 1 to 2 on that? And I'm kicking myself for not doing that. But the other reason why is when I look at the 1 hour highs, what I seen was that the recent 1 hour high was right here, right? So it was kind of right above that 1 to 2 area. So I felt that there was a chance the price would react off of that and drop down. So that's why I left my stop, my risk to reward at 1 to 2 overnight. Now, if you go back further, you'll see that we have a more higher highs way over here, right? But what worried me was that recent one was right here. Now, if the recent, when I pulled up the 1 hour chart, if that recent 1 hour high would have been somewhere up here, then I definitely would have tried to, I do that all the time. You see this here. I definitely would have tried to stretch this out to a 1 to 3, which would have gotten hit. But, because that 1 hour, the recent 1 hour high was right in this area here, I stuck with the 1 to 2. Okay. So I wasn't worried. The daily range high didn't really come into play because it was far away, right? So that's 2 trades from overnight. That's the gold trade that I'm currently in from this morning, why I stayed out of it last night when it hit that consolidation like that. Well, basically I stayed out of it because I went to bed, but you see the consolidation that happens after that. I didn't get to get in the trade because it didn't activate on our scanner. So that's the great thing about our strategy. That's why we have a 5-step strategy, right? We have the daily range high and low. We have the 4 hour trend. We have the 1 hour zone. We get a breakout of the trend line, right, on the 15 or the 5, and then we confirm it with the scanner. That's the 5th thing. the second confirmation, the final confirmation before we take the trade. Didn't get that activation, so I couldn't take the trade. I went to bed, and sure enough, it just consolidated the whole night. So then in the morning when I woke up, I'm looking for it either to pop up and retest or give me another 1 hour zone to trade from or drop down into my next zone, which it did, right? So that's where we're at right now. Okay, guys, if you like this video, if you get some value from these videos on the Trend Trap Pro Trading Strategy, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like the video, leave a comment. And if you want to take the 7-day test drive, let me know. I'll send you the link. You can get started with our platform, right? Pay the fee, and you'll get access to the 5-day boot camp in the educator section, Jay Aball, and you'll get on his live sessions or watch the recorded sessions. You could try it out, and if after 7 days you're not happy, you can ask for a refund, get your money back. So let me know if you want the link to that. Other than that, have a great day, guys.